will share about his vision on show your children that they can change the world. From butterflies to captive whales, it's possible to change the world. So come on, it's a pleasure to have Simon Hahn coming from the Scottingham Primary School.
So, is this on? Yeah, so that's me, that's my teacher pose. So that's me every day. So I'm a primary school teacher. I teach year 4, so my children are 8 and 9 years old. I've been teaching for 10 years. I teach 4 days a week, and then the other day I do things like fly to Barcelona and present to you guys. I work on my Facebook page where I share my teaching ideas. I work with BBC, Nexus Education, we're here today, there's just the back up there. And I do kind of my own thing, what I'm passionate about. And today I'm going to talk about, these are my guys who wanted to say hello to you. So this is my class. Hope you should say hello. And I'm finished, thank you. So yeah, these are my wonderful children. I just called them this morning and they're behaving themselves. The supply teachers in at the moment, they're looking after them. So I've been teaching for 10 years, and I want to talk about this.
Kids can change the world.
They can also destroy the world. That was the second take. The first take, she dropped the globe and it fell apart. So we still taped it, and it's fine. So kids can change and destroy the world. So I'm going to talk about how kids can change the world. Now my town, we live in, this is my town, Ramsbottom. We still have a steam train that goes through. We're about half an hour from Manchester in the north of England. And so how can children, 8, 9 years old, from a town that has a steam train still, how can they change the world? And the reason why they can change the world, and they do change the world, is because of this word, internationalisation. Through social media platforms, the world is a small place where you can reach out to it. And we use things like Twitter to share our work, we use YouTube because we create videos, we get our writing to come to life, and we post it on YouTube, Facebook, through our school Facebook page, and through my Facebook page, and Skype as well. And through using these platforms, we've had retweets from famous authors like Anthony Horowitz. We've had a famous poet called Brian Moses talk about some of the work that my kids did in my class in Ramsbottom. We've had a school in France use our video to teach their children English. We've had David Walliams Skype and speak to us, the author David Walliams, and we've also been featured in the New York Times. So these are 8 and 9-year-olds that have done this. So I'm going to talk about Skype in education. Now, I love Skype. It's dead simple to use and it's free. And the reason why I like Skype is because I can't always take the children to the North Pole. I'd love to, but through Skype we can take the children to the North Pole because we can speak to scientists live in the North Pole. One of my children asked the guy where's the laser beam thing? There. Asked this guy, he said, what's the weather like outside? So he got his iPad and he went outside and he showed the children what the weather was like outside. I don't know how he had a Wi-Fi signal, but he did. We've also spoken to famous authors. They've spoke to us about the books that they write and why they write them. We've also been to 10 Downing Street with Pamela Anderson and spoke to Pamela Anderson before, but that's another story for another day. And now we're outside 10 Downing Street, which, to be honest with you, those guys right there could probably do a better job than what's going on in my country at the moment. But that, again, that's another story altogether. So the story I'm going to talk to you about today is the film Blackfish. Now the film Blackfish is on Netflix and it's a wonderful documentary, quite heart-wrenching as well to watch, about how orcas or killer whales are basically too big and too intelligent to be in these small tanks. It's had something like 300 million views. It's done so much around the world to raise the issue of captivity and captive cetaceans. And I watched this on a Saturday night on my house because I was just flicking through Netflix, and I thought I could use that to look at balanced arguments in my classroom, and it was something I was quite passionate about as well. So we used the film, we got a piece of paper down the centre of the classroom, and all we did was we written some ideas and some thoughts about how they would feel as a captive orca, how they would feel being taken from their parents, how they would feel to be able to have to perform for food to get fed. And they put some ideas on a big piece of paper down the centre, and we took parts of their sentences, put it together, and we created a poem. And we put a green screen up, and we recorded the poem. And this is just part, I won't play the whole poem, but this is just some of it. Hopefully this will work.
family. Live, eat, and play in freedom every day. Looking up at the stars, I used to be proud of my life. I used to ride the waves, gliding through the infinite ocean. Smell the fresh sea breeze. My tall fin touched the sky. I used to feel alive. I used to be free.
They came for me, chased me, scared me, caught me, ruined everything. They took me from my home, away from my family.
They stole my childhood, took my life away, and let my family watch them do it. They crushed my hopes and dreams. They stole my freedom.
So I won't play the whole video, but we put that on YouTube and we shared it on Facebook, and then an organisation called Anti-Part Marine saw the video. They asked us if they could translate into French for their school children. They did. Within 3 days. It had 117,000 views within 3 days. And this is again what we teach my 8 and 9-year-olds in class. So as a teacher, there's no way I'm going to stop there and go, right, okay, the next subject. I'm going to continue with that because the children were passionate and they wanted to change the world, and it's up to me to help them do that. So I sent Sam Berg, she's from the film Blackfish. She's one of the trainers who used to work with Tilikum, the largest killer whale that died unfortunately a couple of years ago. And I sent her a tweet and I sent her a message just to say, any chance we could speak to you on through Skype, you know, please? And I sent her a link to our video, and within the same day, she sent a message back and said, yes, of course, I've just got to speak to NBC, CNN, but after that I've got a spare hour. Is that okay? I looked at my diary, said, yeah, that's fine, no problem. So I told the children the next day, I said, guys, we're going to speak to Sam Berg now. If anyone's a teacher in here, sometimes you sort of lie to your children a little bit. You know, when you teach them, you lie to them, you say things that are not quite true sometimes. And at this point, my kids looked at me and thought, he's not telling the truth, he's lying. And I said, no, honestly, we really are going to speak to Sam Berg. She's speaking to a couple of news companies, she's speaking to us live from Alaska. Let's create some questions. And they still didn't quite believe us. So I'm going to show a little clip of us talking to Sam Berg, live from Alaska, just after NBC. It's Christmas jumper day because it was near Christmas, so I do apologise for the choice in jumper. As you can see, I quite like it, but there you go.
All right. So you know me from the film, then you see me from the film. My name's Sam, and I started working for SeaWorld of Florida in January of 1990, so I was not quite 22 years old. And honestly, right now, you guys probably know more about killer whales in captivity than I did when I started working there. And I'm not even kidding about that, it's true. When I started working there, I had just graduated with a degree in animal science from Cornell University in the US. It's a really well-known...
Now they believe me. So we spoke to her for an hour, and they had a to and fro conversation with the scientists that worked in SeaWorld, and they were holding their own. So then Born Free got in contact with us, Born Free in the UK. They said there's a debate going in Brussels in European Parliament, and a petition trying to get passed through. The petition was to ban the captive use of cetaceans. Cetaceans are belugas, dolphins, anything larger than a dolphin. They're too intelligent to be in these small tanks. Would you like to be a part of it? I asked my children, they said yes. They collected 4,000 signatures. Some of them went door to door and collected signatures. And we did some work around it. We looked at the arguments for and against, because as a teacher, I still gave them both points. I didn't say, this is what I believe. I said, these are the facts here, these are the facts here. You guys decide what you think. And when you look at it, it's pretty obvious they shouldn't be in those tanks. So then Born Free rang up again and said, can you come to Brussels with 10 of your children? So I walked to the head teacher's office or the principal. I knocked on the door. I said, Mrs. Barnes, have you got £10,000 to send me and some children over? She said, Simon, we're struggling to buy pens at the moment. I have not got £10,000. So I could have stopped then, gone and told the kids bad news, but I didn't. I looked at MEPs, European Parliament, I found a loophole, and they pay for a certain amount of educational trips over to European Parliament to have a look around. And what I did was I did this on purpose. I did it at the exact same time that this debate was going on. And then we got £10,000, and then we took 10 children all the way to Brussels. And this is Sajid Karim, he paid for it for us, which was great.
I am making this video from the European Parliament in Strasbourg. I really am so impressed when I have heard from your teacher, Simon Hunt, of all the work that you have been doing at Devonshire Road School. The work that you have done regarding Wales in captivity has even impressed the Born Free Foundation, so well done to all of you. I really do look forward to welcoming some of you here to the European Parliament.
So there you have it. We got a train, we got a taxi, we got a plane, then we got another train, then we walked. This was with 10 kids. If you've never done a school trip before, it's difficult going to a museum, let alone going to another country. And then we stayed just behind there in the morning. We went to the Chocolate Museum because we had to. We were in Belgium. And then that evening, the next day we went to their side of Crim. We had all our petition. He spent 10 minutes with us, but again, he paid for the trip, so we'll give him 10 minutes. So we handed in the petition to him. He had his photo opportunity because he's doing his bit for the country, you know, but it was okay with me. We had a tour around the main chamber, so that's a huge chamber. I don't know if any of you have been to the European Parliament, but they only use it once every few months. So we had a tour around there, and then as we were special guests of the Blackfish crew, I didn't realise what they meant. We went to a red carpet film premiere. So I was there with my 10 kids with their jumpers on, walking down this red carpet with paparazzi taking pictures, and the kids were like, hey, walking down. So we watched the film, and then we had caviar. The kids did not like caviar, but my deputy head teacher, she liked caviar. She definitely liked Prosecco as well, and champagne. So she only had one glass, by the way, just in case you were wondering. She just had one glass. I had a couple more than one. So we went to the premiere, and then they said, would you like to go to the chamber to watch the debate? And I thought they meant like a small little room. I didn't realise they meant that place there. So we walked in, and they took us to the front. So not only were we in the main chamber, we sat right at the front. And it was full of scientists, it was full of MEPs, it was full of all sorts of people, and 10 kids from Bolton at the front. So I was sat there thinking, how did this has kind of spiraled, this lesson. But it was amazing to think we're there because of the work that my kids have done, and they're there for a purpose to try and help change parliamentary law. Now, the amazing thing that did happen at this debate is we had SeaWorld executives on this side, and we had anti-captivity scientists on this side, and they had a debate for about an hour. And then at the end, the lights came up, and they said, right, any questions for anyone in the audience? And I was sat on here, and Bradley, who was 10 seats down, he put his hand up. And he pressed the buzzer, he went, like this. Waved his finger, and at that moment I'm thinking, this could be beautiful or catastrophic. Please be beautiful. And I don't know whether you know Bradley, but it could have been, it was borderline. And he put his hand up, and he tapped the microphone, and everyone kind of went like this. And he said, excuse me, SeaWorld, because he called them SeaWorld. And this is the fact that he gave. He said, in captivity, 100% of male killer whales have a collapsed dorsal fin. Yet in the wild, it's 0.05%, and of those 0.05%, it's generally because they're about to die. What do you think, SeaWorld? And at that point, the room sort of like, who's this kid? Who's this little kid at the front? Now, the anti-captivity people over this side, they folded their arms and just smiled and said, what are you going to do about this, SeaWorld? The SeaWorld guys on this side were stumped, because they were expecting questions from scientists. They didn't expect an 8-year-old boy with a really good fact to have an argument with them. And then they kind of mumbled their words, they didn't know what to say, and then it was a bit like that. And then they got a round of applause from most of the audience. At the same time, it was being translated to lots of different languages. And then the person in the middle that was chairing the debate said, well, any more questions? And then beep, 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 every single hand now. And then for the next half an hour, my children were having a debate with SeaWorld and actually beating SeaWorld, and it was beautiful to watch. And I kind of sat back and I went, this is awesome. And then when we got, while we were there, when we got back, it made the news because to what happened. So they asked for pictures from the flag. And my kids were like, yeah, fine, no problem. I mean, they'd just been to a film premiere, a red carpet. This is nothing to them. And I thought that was it. I got back to England, And about 2 months later, I got threatened by SeaWorld. Now, this is true. This letter came to school, and I'll read a bit of it for you. It says, "Dear Mrs. Barnes, we're writing to bring your attention the anti-zoo campaign currently being headed by your teacher at Devonshire Road Primary School, Mr. Simon Hunt," which is me. At that point, I didn't want it to be. "Whilst we appreciate the subject of animals in zoological care is sometimes a subject of debate, I hope you agree that teachers have the duty to present all the facts, which I did. I gave both the facts that their kids decided that this is how they felt." And then it was a 4-5-page document of a threatening letter plus their statistics and facts. And I was worried because I was just being a teacher doing a lesson. I don't want to get sued by SeaWorld. So I rang Bonfrey and I said, "Am I in trouble? Am I going to get in trouble here?" Because usually the kids get in trouble, not me. The teacher's usually all right. And my head said, "Can you just check?" Because, we didn't have enough money for pens, let alone a lawsuit against SeaWorld. So it turns out that what happened was, because we made a splash, so to speak, at this conference, SeaWorld thought they would send this letter, quite threatening, because a lot of people that say something negative against SeaWorld, they'll send these letters, and people will just stop because they're worried because it's SeaWorld. But really, you're fine. I said, "Are you sure?" "Yes, you're fine." "Are you sure?" "Yes, you're fine." So I said, "Right, okay." So what I did, I took the letter, and I photocopied it and printed it really large across the classroom before the kids came in. And my kids walked in, they read the letter, and they were angry. They said, no, that's incorrect. And they knew every counter argument for every single point that they had sent. So then we sat down, we wrote 30 letters back to SeaWorld, and we didn't hear from them since. And then a year later, I got a letter from Brussels. A big official letter landed on my doorstep. And this is the letter. And this is a notice to you, to members of the EU. And we are now named, me and my class are now named in the European Parliamentary Law, Article 3, Indent 3, about how to look after cetaceans and the possible ban of cetaceans. So my children literally changed law because they're named on it. That affects billions of people, and also the welfare of animals, which is why we started in the first place. So if there's ever a purpose for writing, that's it there. So, last July, the Blackfish documentary crew invited me over to Salmon Island, and the reason why they invited me there is because I presented about the work I did, is because resident orcas circle the island because of the channel salmon that swim around at that time. Invited us over, I had presented about the work I did, and then the next day, I kayaked with killer whales, straight dorsal fins. He was coming right at me, this guy, but they kind of swam around, and it was beautiful to see, of all the films and the documentaries I've watched, to actually see them swimming around, and I was there because my kids took me there. I was there because of them. So we spoke to, part of the session was, we Skyped live back to my children, and they presented alongside me as part of that. So that was last July. So I'm just going to finish in a minute, but what I'm going to say is that children can change the world, because they do. But it's up to us as teachers and educators to help them do that and to give them the tools and to facilitate it and to take risks as well. I'm currently working with Jesse Ventry, who was one of the other trainers from the film Blackfish. He's my friend now. And I'm going back to Salmon Island next year with some of my students, and I asked him to record a message for today, and this is hopefully, if it's yeah, there he is. So that's Jesse Ventry. If you've seen the film Blackfish, you'll recognise him. Oh, it's not playing. Oh, it's not going to play.
Hola, Barcelona. Me llamo Jeffrey Ventry. I'm a medical doctor and cast member of the movie Blackfish. You may have heard of the Blackfish effect. I'd like to say that as teachers and educators, you all have the opportunity and even the duty to show children how they can change the world. We've seen it with the Blackfish effect, and if you want to see an example of it, join Simon Hunt and I with his kids from Toddyton Primary next July on Salmon Island, where we're going to see some killer whales and let the kids take it from there. Thank you. Adios, amigos.
So there you go, children can change the world, they do, and it's up to us, and you guys as well, to help them do that. Thank you very, very much for listening.